States and municipalities across the United States are feeling the pressure. Tax revenues, they're falling short. States, of course, required to maintain a balanced budget. So if revenues fall, spending must be cut. And my next guest can tell us that's leaving many municipal leaders facing a dilemma, what to do. Ronald Green, he is the City Controller for Houston, Texas. Ronald, always a pleasure. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Give us just a little snapshot of the economy right now in Houston.
Well, City of Houston is unlike many other cities where there are some challenging times. Revenue may be flat, and of course I've heard that the new term for this is flat's the new up. So for us, that's a good thing. Unemployment is about a little better than the national average. We're at about 8.3% or so. So we're doing fairly well. Cities, of course, are trying to find new revenue streams without raising taxes, and that's always a big challenge for us.
The economy of Houston, of course, based in the world of energy, and you've gone through those depressions and recessions in the energy market. What can you tell us about how Houston deals with these cyclical moves in the economy?
Well, a part of it is the diversification. I mean, obviously, oil and gas is huge in the city of Houston, but of course, we've got the one of the largest medical centers in the world, so our healthcare industry is big right now. Also, education is big. We are seeing an influx of when people lose their jobs or when people want to get ahead, they go back to school. So that tends to be a growing area as well right now. So pretty much a very diversified economy works for Houston, Texas.
What are you finding in terms of the housing industry? Because that's a big issue when it comes to any municipal tax base.
Still very stable. I mean, home sales are up in Houston, which is a good thing. Inventory is down, but the average selling price is up. So for us, that has always been one of the main attractions when we try to get businesses in the city of Houston, is that a good quality of life and affordable housing.
All right, now you describe a situation that I think only the federal government could envy at this point. What's the relationship between the money that comes in at the federal level, and we know that there's usually a pipeline that takes it from Washington to the municipalities? What's going on in Houston?
Absolutely. I mean, all of us are on watch to see what happens in Washington, because we all rely on federal grants. And so we've got the trickle-down theory. Once it goes through from Washington, it goes through the state. And so for us, whatever goes down to the state, through the state, stops with us. So for us, unfunded mandates are always something that we're on the watch for, and very concerned about this super committee and what happens with that. What
do you think is going to happen? Do you think they're going to come to any kind of resolution? There's a report today that they want more time and that they would ask Congress for more time because they're supposed to deliver the report just before Thanksgiving.
Absolutely. I think that they probably will need more time. I think right now everyone rushed to make a deal, and if some of these triggers are met and some of these big cuts are made automatically, that's not good for the country as a whole. And so more time is probably what they need. More time is what we should give them.
What about the cost of borrowing money in Houston and in Texas?
Well, the cost is good. It's a good market for us right now. Obviously, I've got a twofold job. I've got debt on one side and I've got investments on the other. So wherever I am giving up yield, I'm trying to get it on the other side. And so it's a good market for us. And over the last 15 months, we have refunded more than $2 billion in debt. So it's been good.
So what about the Build America bonds program? Because there seems to be this change that's going on in the municipal bond market. You've got people who are okay with taxable yield as well as the more traditional market, which is the tax-free.
I think most of us are looking back saying we probably should have done more on the Build America side. It opened up a new investment pool, and I think most people would love to have that subsidy back. We thought it would be here, but we just have to make do with what's out there.
What do you think about the president's proposals for reductions in payroll taxes? Do you think would that help the local economy?
I think it always does. Whenever you can put more money back into these business owners' hands so that they can beef up hiring, I think that's helpful. So for us, with the economy the way it is, more people on the working is always good for all of us.
Now, we know that tax revenue comes in a lot of different forms, Ronald, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, what other kinds of revenue-raising ideas have you got out of the city of Houston?
Well, obviously, sales tax is up for us. That's a good thing. But our property taxes have tended to be flat, so we're looking at other ways of raising the revenue, and not just for the sake of raising revenue, but to get more in line in the services that we offer. We've looked at over 300 permits that we offer. We've adjusted the prices on those, basically in a cost recovery model. Also collectibles that are out there. I mean, the cities are like other businesses. We have people who don't pay their bills, so we've got to go after those as well. So those are two of the big things that we're doing right now.
All right, now just as you describe cities as businesses, you've also got obligations to people that have retired as workers.
Absolutely.
Of the city of Houston. What about matching those pension liabilities against the ability to pay?
I mean, certainly we are at a deficit on that side. But the good thing about it is if everyone continues to work, we've got the investment horizon versus the retirement horizon. That's always a good thing whenever that delta doesn't get out of whack. But the big thing for us, we've got some OPEB liabilities that are out there. But there will be some changes, and I think our pension funds have stepped up to the plate, wanting to work with the city so that our liabilities are minimized as much as we possibly can. But we've got contracts that we are going to have to pay.
One of the issues for pension funds, not only in Houston, but across the United States and even in the private sector, have to do with expectations. They use a specific number to figure out what they believe their yield is going to be, what the return is going to be on their portfolio. Have you noticed that there's been any adjustment?
There hasn't been any adjustment, but certainly there has been the need to adjust it. For the city of Houston, there's about an 8% assumption, and I think that those have been off. While if you look at the last maybe 10 years, they've met those, but that's based on the market. So at some point, I think you probably need to be around 4 and 6%, and I think we'll all look at that.
Now, one of the things that Texas has that other communities, other states don't have, is they've got more strict rules governing mortgage brokers and real estate transactions. Do you think that there are things that other states can learn from? Because this guy came out of Houston and Texas debacle going back to the decline of the oil industry.
Absolutely. Whenever you govern these types of industries and you just can't wake up one day and open up shop and become a mortgage broker, I think that's what's helped us as well. Because you really have to have some continuing education. It is licensed by the state, and it really is something that the state supervises fairly closely. I think that's helped us. And if other states learn from that and you have some regulations there, that cuts down on some of the fraud that could be involved.
Now, you've been in New York attending a Bloomberg Link Municipal Bond Conference. One of the things that's different now is municipal bond insurance. It used to be you get insurance, you get a wrapper, and the investor goes and says, all right, it's insured. It doesn't matter. I don't have to do my due diligence as much as I used to. Is that changing? People
It's changed. And in most cases, we're seeing that a lot of these insurers have gone out of business. I think in the long run, it'll be a while before you see that really coming back being a major part of a deal.
So does that mean that the prospective buyers are going to have to do more of their homework?
I think what's happening is you're seeing the credit agencies are doing, the rating agencies are doing more due diligence. Everyone's doing more due diligence. But I think it also, on the flip side of that shows more confidence, especially when you're dealing with some of these essential services type bonds.
I want to thank you very much. Ronald Green, Controller, the City of Houston, Texas. Thanks so much for coming by.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. All right.